I am going to show you how to make a drawstring halter top. This project is really easy to do. You can use old t-shirts or you can use jersey fabric, which is really forgiving because you don't have to finish the hem or the arms. When you wash it, it curls naturally and it looks actually really great. This particular top is incredibly comfortable to wear. It's my new favorite summer top. This project is really easy and requires minimum sewing skill. This particular top that I made out of a piece of jersey fabric literally has 3 seams. One in the back, and then one at the front neckline and at the back neckline, and that is it. I didn't finish the hem, and I didn't finish the sleeves. You can see here, totally raw edge. Okay, the first thing you want to do is get a t-shirt. In this case, this is a tunic that actually goes just below my knees. And unfortunately, I don't wear it very often, and I love the fabric. It's cotton knit, jersey knit, and so I'm going to make a dress out of it. Lay out your t-shirt as nicely and as evenly as possible. All right, the next step, once you've laid out your t-shirt, is to simply cut the arms off. And just cut it slightly inside the seam, following the seam as you go up. Now you want to hang on to this because this could become the tie, the drawstring at the top. I'm going to actually put a chain in this because I think it'll be really cool. So do that on both sides. All right. Once you have both of the arms off, what you want to do now is cut the neck out. And you basically want to cut the entire seams off of here because you want to open this up. So you can cut straight across. The nice thing about this project too, being that it's jersey, is that if you try this on and you don't like it and the armholes are too small or whatever, you can always adjust. You can always cut this down, cut the arms out a little bit more. But there you have it. All right, so next what you want to do is you are going to want to measure your top and your back. Grab some needles, and you are going to want to fold the top over and sew a seam right there, or sew a stitch, I should say, right there. I actually am going to use this black chain, so I'm going to want to make sure that it's big enough to fit the black chain. Typically, though, you don't need but maybe an inch, inch and a half, because you will use either ribbon or leftover fabric that you cut off of the t-shirt, and you'll string it through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down maybe, I don't know, an inch and a half, 2 inches, fold it over, make sure, oh yeah, my chain will fit easily, and I am going to simply put a couple pins in place so that when I sew it, it doesn't move. Again, the great thing about this is that it's so forgiving. I am not even going to finish the edges. I'm not going to fold them over. You know, I want this to be a little raw because I like that it's so easy. So there's the front, and you'll do the same for the back. This project has been my favorite project this summer because once I made one. I made the first one that I made, which I didn't make out of t-shirt, I actually made out of fabric, just as easy, and you know, it's absolutely foolproof. I made it and I wore it that afternoon, which is exactly my kind of project. So now I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and sew a stitch on both sides. All right, I'm going to run a seam down this edge very simply. Suppose if you wanted to get fancy, you could do a zigzag seam, zigzag stitch, or some other fancy stitch. This pattern is very similar as well to the pillowcase tops that you see for kids. It's the same concept, it's just on a larger scale and not finishing off edges. So there you have it. Now I've sewn the edges. Now's the fun part. I'm going to take chain and put the chain through here. But typically you could use ribbon or rope or take leftover that you cut off. And if you use the jersey itself and cut a strip and pull it, it rolls up on itself and you can string that through. So let's give this a try. I haven't even cut my chain yet because I'm not sure how long I want this to be. But you'll just push it through both sides. All right, there you have it. I simply tied the chain with pretty gray ribbon, and there's the finished piece. In this case, it's a dress, but if you used a regular t-shirt, it would be a shirt. You can't get any easier than this. You could string a beautiful scarf, chain. I got this chain from Home Depot. You could use, you could use really anything, but you seriously, it really can't get any easier. There's the back. I am going to real quickly show you how to do this if you're not using a t-shirt and just a piece of fabric. Without going through all of the steps, I'm going to just show you quickly how to lay out your fabric and make the extra stitch and do the same thing with a piece of jersey knit. All right, if you're going to try to make this shirt with just a piece of fabric, this is a jersey. I think it's a polyester cotton, and it might just be polyester, but I am not going to do anything more than cut it to length. I've doubled it up simply because it's a very, very sheer fabric. But anyway, I think it's 42 inches in width, but you can decide how long you want it because, again, it could be a shirt, or if you want to make it longer, it could be a dress. And then simply, fold it in half and run a stitch along that edge. So essentially you'll have a tube. And from there, once you've done that, you will take it, fold it out so that the back stitch is in the back. And again, I'm not going to sew this for you, but what you will have is you will have your stitch, your seam right here. Okay? And lay it out like this. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut an armhole. I would err on the smaller side initially because you can always cut more out to make it bigger. But just, cut an armhole, maybe even take an old t-shirt and use that as your guide, fold it inside out and use the armhole as your guide. But you'll cut out there and you'll do it exactly the way we did before. You will then make a front pocket for your ribbon and a back pocket or channel or whatever you want to call it, and you'll cinch it all together, and there you have it.